This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, welcome everyone to episode 16 of the Drip and Geeb podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is host Drip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live over on youtube.com/Drip Media Gaming. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also watch our podcast on youtube.com/DripGeeb. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your podcast app of choice. On today's episode, we have technical difficulties. That's what we have. We also have lots of conversation about the Switch OLED because it's a hot topic right now, and there's lots to talk about it because even though we're before the release date, lots and lots of content on the Switch OLED, which we'll get to in just a moment. But first, Drip, how's your frozen ass doing?
I'm doing the best I can over here, you know? I keep freezing, and I hope everyone watching this live can just bear with us. But other than that, I mean, I can't actually feel it happening, so it's not that bad. I can't feel it, so I'm okay. I'm happy, man. I'm pretty much finished up some work today. Got some stuff ready. I leave tomorrow to go to Talladega.
Ooh.
I am going to Talladega for the very first time, and I am one excited boy. I absolutely can't wait. We're taking an RV. We're camping in the infield of Talladega Super Speedway. It's gonna be amazing. We're doing it right. You know how when I stream racing games, I have the wheel.
Yes.
The racing wheel.
Yes.
So we're taking two of them and we're setting them up outside of our camp, as a big thing,
Oh man, that's gonna be so cool.
So there's gonna be two wheels sitting there with two TVs and a PlayStation, or a TV and a PlayStation. We're trying to figure that out exactly how we're going to do that. But it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. Never been there. I've been to a lot of other tracks. I haven't been there. I'm really, really excited to get on the road tomorrow. We got a long way to go. And I think we're stopping in Tennessee, which means I'm going to have to look for a Yeehaw Dunkel when I get there.
Yeehaw Dunkel.
From what I hear, that's the happening hot drink down around those ways, around those parts. So I'm going to see if I can stop on our first night there and find a Yeehaw Dunkel.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully I have some luck with that.
Yeah.
How about you?
With life, it's the grind, man. It's go to work.
It's just the grind.
I'm down to about 2 hours after work. I need to rest my body a little bit, get some lunch in me. We're working our way to being productive for 12 hours a day, essentially.
Hey, man, that's more than most people do, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
No.
I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I think you're good.
It's just bizarre to have, the schedule is bizarre. I mean, to get up early, get home early, take a break because it's a physical job, and then go from that physical job into lunch for about 2 hours, and then get onto computer and sit for 7 more hours. It's a weird day. It's a weird day. And not every day's I'm not sitting here saying I work 13 hours a day like some people. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to pretend to be that person. I just do stuff, we have two grinds. It's like two schedules in one day, basically.
I feel that. Excited for the weekend, but I'm going to stream right after this, and I decided tonight's a perfect night to go back and do some crazy challenges in NASCAR heat, get the wheel out. I actually have a second camera set up. It's a wheel cam, just so you're going to be able to see what I'm doing driving tonight.
That's awesome, dude. That is so awesome.
I actually looked at the cam, and it actually is pretty cool because I didn't realize it until I was watching the camera as I was driving. But man, that wheel, it has some serious feedback, dude. It will it'll fight you back. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Force feedback on a wheel.
I didn't realize it until I actually looked at it.
A good wheel, force feedback is awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's sick. This one's not mine. This is my buddy's. Mine's terrible, but he let me borrow this one because he's a good friend. And I think I've had it here for 6 months at this point. It's been here for a while.
Well, guys, we like I said, like I teased earlier, there's lots of stuff going on with the Switch OLED. So as of this recording, it is September 29th, 2021. And obviously, as you can tell, if you realize, the Switch OLED doesn't get released until October 8th of this year. So why are we seeing all these unboxing videos happening now, yesterday, today, probably tomorrow? People are getting this system in their hands now. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Do you have any theories of how these videos are coming out right now?
I am just so mad that I don't have mine.
You petty.
I don't know.
man.
I looked this morning. I was like, Kevin Kenson's already put up 3 videos. The guys from Nintendo Life got to go to Nintendo to see one, which is fine. That's cool. Zach from Switch Force, just before we went live, posted a video of him unboxing one. I'm like, where's mine? So I went on Best Buy this morning. I was like, maybe it's there. Maybe they're like, come pick it up. They're not. They didn't say come pick it up. Actually, I got really scared when I first got on there and looked. I looked in like my buying history, my purchase history, and the Switch OLED wasn't there anywhere. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's scary.
Best Buy has canceled my order somewhere along the way, and I had no idea it even happened.
Oh,
but then
man.
I found it.
Sorry,
I was about to completely flip out.
I had a similar issue with the Game & Watch pre-order. I was like, where is my pre-order? And also, I didn't see any money come out. I don't pre-order things too often. I've realized now that when you pre-order something, the money doesn't come out until it ships, which makes sense.
Right. That is not how it went with the Switch OLED, though.
Oh.
They took it all immediately.
Well then, okay.
Yeah, usually you're right. Things like that, they took it immediately.
I'd much prefer.
Which I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
take it.
Exactly. I'd much prefer to take my money right away because I have the money now. I'm making the decision now. Maybe later on I might not have that money. So
yeah, exactly.
You know?
I can tell you this: if they try to make me pay for a Switch OLED right now, I'm not getting a Switch OLED. I can tell you that.
Yeah, man. So just from who I saw, you mentioned Kevin Kenson. By the way, crispy videos, Kevin. I love it. Austin Evans.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Austin Evans too. I forgot about that.
Nintendo, and you said Nintendo Life as well. Those are 3 that I saw. The main. There was one from Japan. Was it last week that I didn't put too much stock in, mainly because I don't speak Japanese. Sorry. But I did watch it, and his video was kind of enjoyable. Did you see that video?
I did not. I have not seen that one.
Yeah, that was like last week. I didn't think much of it. I didn't think we need to talk about it because I'm like, oh, that's just a weird one-off situation. Well, turns out it's way more than one-off, especially this week.
Where and how are they getting these things early?
I don't know, man. I mean, you had a theory, and I think I don't know if you meant to like,
okay.
Like, I want to hear your theory if you even believe in it, because now I kind of believe your theory.
The only thing I can think of is for some reason, because I know it's not always that, like, these things just don't show up to the store. I mean, I guess it is only a week now, right? Next Friday's when they come out, correct?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe they're at the stores. Maybe they're in the back rooms. And there's somebody, I mean, I don't know how Kevin Kenson got his hands on one, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe he bought it off, Facebook Marketplace or something, off somebody else who got it. But I mean, somebody's taking these things out of the back room when they're not supposed to be taken out of the back room and run through.
For sure.
Like, that has to be what's going on. I don't know any other way unless they're just like falling off the back of a truck, which means they were stolen.
Yeah. No, so
I don't know. Like, I want to know how they're getting them, because if I knew, I would have done the same thing.
I think you hit it right.
I would have canceled my pre-order, got the money, and went and just bought one today.
You hit the nail right in the coffin, and here's why I think that. With my experience in retail, I've worked at a Kohl's and I've worked at an Amazon warehouse. So working in the Kohl's, the back room, I feel like, especially me at 19, the young man Geeb working at Kohl's, I could see me being persuaded by someone like, hey, or being naive for that matter. It's like, hey, dude, you got this thing? Go look in the back. Yeah, man, I'll go take a look. Sure. I'll look, I'll find it. Maybe not knowing all about Switch as I do now then. Like, yeah, man, here you go. And there's the thing. And then the cashier, like, being naive themselves, because I also cashiered as well. So Cashier Geeb over there, 19 years old, like, hey, okay, here, let me scan this thing for you. That was cool, nice.
Right. And then, I know this too. Some places, I know, at least at Walmart, I know this is a thing. These things, like, if they put a game out, let's say they put a game out the day before release, you can try to buy it, but sometimes it's register locked. Like, the register will not scan it until the next day because it knows it's not supposed to be released until the next day. So again, if that's happening, these things are on a date. Like, they have to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me tell you about Amazon.
Somebody's doing something shady around. Like, something's going on.
So at Amazon, I know, at least for us warehouse workers, me driving around on my truck, and I get to my location, scan my bin, pick up the item in it, I pick up the item I need to get, and in that bin there's another item. And it says on there with words, it says no sale or not, do not take off shelf until this date. It'll say that frequently.
Yeah.
I bet you also in the system, it probably won't even let you scan it until that date. I don't know that for sure, But if it says it with words like don't remove or sold until this date, and knowing how Amazon integrates all this with tech and everything, they're probably also integrated not being able to be removed from that bin in the first place. If it's like that at Amazon, 5 years ago, it's probably like that anywhere else.
Then
Walmart
how the
and stuff
hell
like
are
that.
these people getting these things? How?
How
is this happening?
I'm going to throw it right back to Kohl's, though. So Kohl's, they sell mostly clothes, as you know, but they do sell some tech stuff. They will get stuff like that. And knowing how they do things in their back, at least this is what? How old am I? I don't know. Close to a decade ago at this point. That's weird. It's not exactly, as streamlined and as high tech and as modern as like Amazon would be. So I can see them not having any sort of lock like that. I can see them getting something off the truck and being able to sell it right away. I can see that happening at Kohl's for sure. What about like your mom and pop shop who does get new tech stuff? Maybe they got a shipment.
Yeah, you're right. There are smaller, just even just video game stores that get new stuff. They still get it. They just don't get a lot of it.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know, man. It makes me think, like, should I go to Best Buy tomorrow morning and be like, hey, if my Switch is back there, go get it and give it to me.
Actually,
please
go to Kohl's. Go to mom and pop. Go to maybe a Target. I wouldn't go to Walmart. Go to the places like Best Buy. I wouldn't go to. Best Buy's not going to sell that to you. They know. The guy who works there would know that it's not being sold. But go to a place.
Dude, you know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this real quick. I don't know if the guy knows like that I do YouTube or whatever it is. Like, I don't know what the deal is. But the dude at Target, dude, he hooks me up.
How? In what way?
One morning, listen, like he does it all the time. And I think he knows I'm coming in on these release dates. Like, one day, I went in there for the Animal Crossing Sanrio cards. Remember when I went in there that day and I was like, I'm never going to find them. I'm never going to find them.
Yep.
None of them were out. That guy was working and he was like, hey, you looking for something? Like, he came right up to me, like already knowing what I was looking for, it seemed like. And I told him and he was like, yeah, over here. And he had 2 packs behind the register and sold me both of them.
In a different way. So I would unload trucks in the morning and then be on the floor during the afternoon. Things would come off the truck fresh. Like no one else has seen this stuff but me. I'm the first person to see it. And we're talking about clothes, not tech. But like I'd see something like, oh, that belt. Like I think I want that. That shirt's in my size. Like, oh, I like that. And I won't put it in a place that can't be sold, but I'm smart about it. I throw it on the back of the rack, maybe even on the wrong rack. And it's like, I mean, it's on the floor. It's just not necessarily where it could, as if a customer picked it up and threw it in the wrong place. It's not, there's nothing wrong about that. Maybe morally just a tad, but I mean, it's still being sold and I'm just going to be the one to buy it. And it's in my size.
It's just hiding it until you're ready to get it. That's all.
Exactly.
That's fine.
I mean, there even is an employee bin at where I used to work. You could just put your item in there. It's like saving for you. I mean, that you could do that too. I just chose to do it a different way so no one else would see it.
That is so funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's nuts that they're getting this exact. No one's actually said like how they're getting it, which I'm like, all right. I mean,
I wanted to shout her out. I forgot what her name was. She's a newer upcoming YouTuber. She actually was featured on the Austin Evans video, but good videos, and she has a Switch early. She only like 2K followers on YouTube, so at first I thought it was like Nintendo giving out these systems, and after I saw her hat, I'm like, no way is Nintendo giving out
they're
systems.
not giving them out. That's what I'm saying. Like the only person who has seen this thing that has put a video up, as far as I know, who's supposed to have seen it, is Alex from Nintendo Life. He's the only one that I've seen where there was a legitimate video because he got to play Metroid Dread too, because he did a video on that.
Right.
And the OLED was in that video. And then they did another video. Instead of doing the same exact thing, they just had John and Dion ask him a bunch of questions, just as they were like, us wondering questions about whatever, which was nice. It was cool. I like that. I like the style of video they did for that. It was, there's a lot of information. And Kevin Kenson just put out another one today that I still haven't watched yet. What is it? 20 plus questions about the OLED. I can't wait to watch it. You know how many questions I have about it? More than 20. I can tell you that. It's more than 20.
Well, hopefully some of those questions get answered in this podcast today. We will move on to what we've seen in the videos. So we'll start with you, man. What did you see that you want to talk about in these videos?
2 things. The first thing that I saw that I noticed right off the bat is you can look at that screen, not even like the colors, the vibrancy. Yeah, we know it's an OLED screen. You can look at it even when it's off and look at that screen and tell it is a much, much higher end screen than what we have on the Switch right now. You can just look at the light reflecting off of the screen and tell that it is a much higher quality panel, hands down. That is the one thing I noticed right off the bat. You know what I mean? It's got that look. Like the Switch we have now does not have that look when it's off. It's got, there's several layers of glass or plastic or whatever. And the one we have now, those layers are really far apart. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's a lamination process.
Yeah. But it's just cheap. It's not done very well.
The old Switch, to be clear.
Right. The new one, you can tell. It's like, oh, dude, you can tell. You can tell it's a nice panel. Just seeing that got me really excited. That was probably the biggest thing that I noticed. The second thing that I saw, and somebody said something about it. Maybe it's in the Nintendo Life video. The bezels on the front, like the extra part of the Switch on the front, like the actual, I guess it's the plastic.
Yeah, bezel.
Is gloss. They changed it from like the regular color that it is right now, like the matte looking color. Like it's black, but it's gloss black now. The whole front is gloss black.
That's not the bezel. That's the bezel around the bezel. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But it's still, I don't know why they made that gloss. Isn't that weird?
No, it's not.
That seems weird to me.
No, and here's why I'll tell you why. Because a second ago, you said something, and I wanted to mention it. The old Switch is made of plastic, as a lot of us know, because you buy a glass screen protector to protect your Switch going in and out of the dock from getting scratched, which is, funny enough, a possibility with your original Switches. But with the new Switch OLED, it is glass for sure, 100%. Yeah. So it's first off, that's awesome. Thank you, Nintendo, for. I'm still gonna get a glass screen protector, so I don't want scratches on the actual unit itself. Rather have the scratches on a screen protector. But the area surrounding the bezel of the screen, naturally, because it's glass, it's just a bit more reflective. Plastic has almost a haze, almost like any plastic screen. It's still crystal clear, but you can tell in the right light that it's plastic. But with glass, you can tell it's glass. It's more glossy, more reflective, more transparent, naturally.
Oh yeah.
I think that's why the bezel, I mean, not necessarily why it's glossy around it, not the actual screen bezel, the plastic bezel around.
It's the plastic part. Yes, the plastic part they have made glossy this time, which I find it weird because here's why I don't think it's such a great idea. I mean, I have Joy-Cons here. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be frozen. You're probably not going to be able to see me do this. But like when you hit like Y, like your finger goes over there onto that little area, and now it's gloss. So you get fingerprints all over it. Like, I don't like fingerprints. I like things to be matte. I like matte better than gloss. I want matte. I'm not extremely happy about that small detail, but again, it is a very, very small detail. But those are the two things. I know they said the power button feels different and it's a different shape.
The power button is bigger. And the volume the volume rocker is slightly different.
I knew they were different. I didn't know exactly how.
Yeah. So the woman, again, I can't remember her name from the Austin Evans video, her YouTube channel, she said that the power button is bigger and the volume rocker is a little different. But are we talking about anything that's notable or groundworthy? No. Even though technically I am noting it right now in this podcast. Not really that notable. It's just a change. The body, overall, let's get into that. The overall exterior of the Switch in general is slightly changed in different ways, not just the kickstand.
Yeah, but before we get into that, there's just there's one thing I thought was very interesting that I think Alex from Nintendo Life said in their video. I think it was his video. I watched a lot of those today, so they're kind of all just kind of running together. So I don't know who actually said what, but I'm pretty sure he said that the micro SD card goes in sideways now. Isn't that weird? I've never seen a micro SD card go in sideways. Like, how do you even do that?
So, think about your cartridge on your Switch.
Maybe I'm thinking about this in the wrong way.
Yes,
I'm thinking like taking the same thing and like pushing it up into like a wider hole. Like, does he mean it just goes in this way now? Still the same type of
It
tray?
goes in horizontal, not vertical. That's the only difference.
Okay, but it's still okay. But never.
So
mind.
think about your game.
I'm just thinking it still goes in vertical, but it goes in sideways. I'm like, how in the hell is that even possible? I've never seen that on anything.
Your Switch game cartridge and your SD card are very similar technology. So like, it's just you look at the back of it, it's got those gold contacts and everything like that.
Yeah. I understand how it works, Geeb. Well, I know how it works. They're saying that it goes in sideways. When I heard him say that, now that we're talking about it, I'm starting to understand a little bit that it still goes in the same way.
Horizontal, not vertical. That's a better way to put it because it's more confusing to say sideways. Because when I heard that, I thought they meant you push it into the system, like in towards the glass on the front.
Right.
That's it's just just horizontal.
That's not what I meant. I mean the slot that the thing goes in is still like in the same place. You follow me?
Yeah.
But it's wider, and you turn the card sideways and put it up in there sideways. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't think that's what he means. I think the slot has been moved sideways.
The slot,
and it just slides in from the side instead of from the bottom.
We're going to get to that because there's more information on the inner guts of the Switch itself. And
okay.
I'll explain to you why it is moved and how it's moved in a second. But yeah, so the SD card slot is still there. What we were talking about.
Okay, but it has, so you knew this the whole time, and you let me just go on this whole tangent about this, and you knew?
I didn't let you. You just do what you got to do, man. I'm not going to tell you to shut up. Hey, stop talking and shut up and listen to me.
Okay, well, you should have. You knew what you're talking about.
Hey, I can edit this all out and it never be heard again.
Yeah, it's totally fine. No, don't edit it out. Leave it all in. Leave all this in for sure.
Yeah.
There was something else. Oh no. Let's the outside. You want to talk about the outside?
Yeah.
So we'll get to the size in a second, but the kickstand, it does seem from all the videos I've watched. At first, it was kind of hard to figure it out. It seemed like people were having some trouble, but it seems like that kickstand is actually made of metal.
So a little conflicting, right? So in Kevin Kenson's video, when he unboxed it, he was touching it. He's like, yo, this is cooler to the touch. This seems like metal. And then I think it might, whose video was it? It was someone else.
The Nintendo Life video, he said it was definitely metal.
Okay.
He said it was definitely metal.
There was another video I watched. One of the other videos I watched, they were like, yeah, it's for sure cooler to the touch, but they weren't convinced that it was metal. Not because they were skeptical or not. It wasn't, but where their brain went first was not that it was metal, just like, oh, that's cooler to the touch. It could be metal. Not sure, though, because they did flick it. Again, I don't know whose video it was. They flicked it, and they put it close to the microphone and flicked it. It did, to my ears, sounded like it could have been plastic. That could have just been the rest of the Switch, so it sort of resonated a little bit, the plastic of the other.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm under the assumption that it's metal, the kickstand. Either way, it's metal, or it's a lot better, higher quality plastic. Either way, win-win.
Yeah, I mean, I'll know in a week. I mean, we'll know for sure in a week. I can definitely tell you if it's metal or not.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty easy to tell, I think. But, I mean, they say another thing that I thought was really cool is I figured that kickstand would have, because it says it can go multiple angles.
Right.
It's literally infinite angles. It's just got enough tension to where you can stop it at any point. There's no like clicks here type of thing. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It just goes however it wants. I guess the little arms on the sides are pretty tough. It's got a lot of resistance, so I guess it's gonna hold up. That was obviously a point of the Switch we have now that is clearly not the best design, not the most well thought out thing on the entire unit. That's for sure. This looks like, from what everybody said who's had it in their hand, it's a non-issue. Not anything to be worried about anymore at all.
Have you used any of the Surface Pro models of computers?
No.
That they have the same exact hinge.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Are they exactly the same?
No. Microsoft engineered the hinge themselves, and I'm sure Nintendo engineered their hinge themselves. But it's the same exact idea.
Similar.
I'm sure, yeah. So if it's anything like that, and anything like a modern Surface Pro, win hinge. And it sounds like, based on the people who have the item in their hands now, sounds like it's a win.
That is something that has not been debated whatsoever.
Correct.
Everybody who says that's fixed. To me, it's like, yeah, that's great. I don't know. I don't play a lot of tabletop mode anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much to me. But it is nice that it's fixed. So if you want to play in tabletop mode, you can. You don't have to worry about your shit falling over.
Exactly. It's one of those things that's like, maybe you don't use it. Maybe you don't really think you need it. Once you have it, you use it. I mean, it could be one of those situations.
That's true. Who knows? I may end up just using it now because it actually works and I don't have to worry about it. I don't use it now because I'm not trying to break my Switch.
Let me put this...
When it falls over and then slides, a couple inches and then slides off the table.
Yeah.
Let
me put this image in your head right now. Storage. How do you usually just put your Switch flat down? You just put it down, leave it like any other console you have. Think about it now.
Ooh.
You could put it anywhere still, but you can flip that little kickstand up and now it just sits right there on your desk.
Set it up and it'll look all nice.
Like a kickstand would be. You don't just throw your bike on the ground. You leave your kickstand
That's true.
up and leave
I
it
like
up.
that. And it will look nice.
Mm-hmm.
It will, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, that's just one idea you have.
Oh, I like that.
It's an argument
like
because there will be these people who have this argument of, I don't use the Switch in tabletop. I don't use the Switch in handheld. I'm telling you right now, sir, whoever you are out there, sir or madam, whoever you are them, whoever you are, I'm telling you, it's a positive thing to have. You're going to enjoy it. You as in the person.
You sold me on it, man. You've sold me on it. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I like that.
We need some B.
Because I honestly
can't
don't
wait
like
for
laying
the
it
drip
down. I don't like
B-roll.
laying it down with the screen just facing straight up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't wait for your B-roll with that sexy kickstand.
Oh, yeah, man.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I won't even have to put it on anything.
Yeah, and one more thing about the body of the Switch on the outside, just real quick, it is bigger. Everyone knows it's bigger. Everyone's like, hey, my accessories fit and this and that. Look, 95% chance you're gonna want a new accessory, let alone need a new accessory. But
And don't you worry, I'll have plenty of videos on new accessories
and
guys.
discount codes.
Don't
I'm
you worry
sure
about that.
all your codes, I'm sure from Skull and Co. You're gonna get that's gonna save people money.
Oh yeah, that's on the way. I got they sent me an email this morning. That new thing for the OLED, they said it will be here early next week.
Cool.
So I will have that. So I guess I'm going to do a separate video on it. I'm going to have to do the unboxing video of the OLED, which kind of sucks. It's like all these videos are out now, and I'm like, do I even do one now? But yeah, I do. Yeah. Obviously, I do.
It's only, I think, I don't remember the exact measurement. It was like a millimeter. I mean, you can look at it yourself on these videos. Go ahead and watch them yourself. I'll probably have the links in the podcast description.
The actual
it's barely a
measurements-
difference.
Right, it's in millimeters.
Insignificant.
And it's on the website.
Yeah.
It's on the website.
Your case probably...
They tell you the actual difference.
Right.
It's just slightly wider.
Your case probably won't fit. Now, Drip and I discussed earlier, the Skull & Co. crystal is very loose.
On the regular Switch,
On the regular
yeah.
Switch, it might just fit.
Might fit the way I was expecting it to fit when I got it.
But number one, you're and now, let me tell you why, person, you're not going to want to do that. Number one, you lose the kickstand. That wonderful thing that you're probably going to want to use.
Yeah.
No kickstand. The buttons, different size, different placements, ever so slightly. So it's not going to line up. You can't use your power button and your volume button anymore. And the game cartridge,
That's right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Your game cartridge slot may be usable. It's in the same spot, roughly. But again, not exactly. So probably not going to be able to get to that either. You're not going to want to use your old stuff. And plus, they're cheap and it's fun. New stuff is fun. I know there are people who...
the new one, what they call it, the Neo Grip.
Yeah.
The Neo Grip.
Dude,
it looks awesome.
Right.
And they're sending me that white one too, and I got the white Switch. Oh man, I'm excited.
If you can afford to buy a
that.
Switch OLED, you can afford another $30 for a new case. I mean,
it's not even $30, man. It's cheap.
Well, I'm just making the statement. Like, those are the people who are not buying it who can't afford it.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
me.
but it's fairly cheap and it looks cool. It's going to be here next week, but it actually has the big cutout all along the back. I'm fairly sure that you can use the kickstand with it. But my question is, if you have those bigger grips on, you know what I mean? The two bigger sizes, is it even going to work with the kickstand at that point? I know the smaller one will, obviously, but it doesn't matter. Once all that stuff gets here, we'll be trying all of it out. I'm excited. That's going to be my whole Friday.
Okay, so let's get into the internals, which I don't think you know anything about of the new Switch.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, can I get a drum roll, please? Please? Drum roll, please? A drum roll, please, is not different.
Oh, no, the inside of the Switch?
Yeah. So they're using...
Of course it's not. That's what I said earlier. And you're like, I'm not telling you.
Well, listen.
What the hell would be the difference?
There is a difference. I lied a little bit. There is no difference except for, again, like the outside. While the outside changes, the inside has to change as well, ever so slightly. So just two big key notes here. Austin Evans, again, I'm shouting him out a lot. He opened up the back of his Switch OLED. The back, inside the Switch OLED, as predictable, it's pretty much the same. But the fan, it is a different fan. It's a little bit smaller and it's a different unit. It's not, they didn't just plug and play the fan. The heat pipe, the copper heat sink or whatever they call that, it is on a different angle and it's also a bit thinner. They even measured it. It's quite a bit. It's like a few millimeters smaller. So that's interesting to make the heat cooling. Those are the two main cooling things for the unit and they're smaller. Interesting. Anything to say?
With the fan, okay, so there's certain reasons why you can make a fan a different size and do different things. Because you have to remember this, the fan itself, just because it's smaller doesn't mean it's not doing the same or more work.
Correct.
Depending on the angle of the blades, how many blades it has. Honestly, you could put a smaller fan in, change some stuff, and actually make the fan work even less than the other one was, which wasn't much anyway, honestly. I don't know about you, but I mean, my Switch has had a few times where I can hear that fan kicking on and things going on in there, but I mean, those times are few and far between. That doesn't happen that often. I mean,
those of us who have a version 1, yes, the fan goes on. You can even, there are times it is just pumping out that heat. It's like, other times I put it to my face, or even like in bed, for example, and it's close to my face, you feel the heat. It's hot. The back gets hot. Like from what I've heard, the version 2, the red box, if you will, it barely gets hot in the back. It will get hot, but barely.
That's true, unless you, I messed up one time. You want a story time?
Story time
here. Here we go. Story time. So I was playing. What was I playing? I was waiting for my daughter to get out of dance class, right? So I'm sitting out in the parking lot playing like Animal Crossing or something. Okay. I don't know. Not paying attention. She runs up on the window, scares the hell out of me. She like hits the window like, ah! And I'm like, oh my God. Like, what the? So not thinking, I just grabbed my my Tom Talk Slim case, right? Toss the Switch in there, shut it, and go home. So I get her back here, I get everybody in bed, and I was like right in the middle of doing something. I was building something on my island or something like that. And I went to get my Switch, and I picked up the case, and the entire case was so hot. I was like, whoa, what is going on? I didn't hit the power button before I put it in the case. So it was in there on with all the vent holes completely covered, just shut in the case running. This thing was on fire, dude. It was on fire. I'm surprised it didn't just completely kill itself. It was nuts. That was the Animal Crossing Switch too.
Was the game on?
Luckily, yeah, it was just sitting there on, and it was. Oh man, it was hot. It was
because I've left my Switch on, but the screen off in its case. Sleep mode. If you will.
That's different. It was straight on.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, it was bad. I didn't mean to do it, but that's the only time I've ever heard that fan really just struggling to get every little bit of heat out that it possibly can. It was not happy. It was not happy. I turned it completely off for like 2 hours and just was like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you.
That's a funny story.
Story time over. That was it.
It's funny you mentioned that because before we get back on track, multiple times recently, since I've gotten this new case, I use it a lot. I actually keep a lot of my games in my travel case, and that makes it easy. So if I need a game, I'll just go to the travel case. And if I take it upstairs, I have my games with me in my travel case because when I bring my Switch anywhere, even around the house, it's in the travel case because at this point, it's part of my livelihood. So like I don't want anything happening to my Switch even for a day that I can't use it. So, but I think about it in the case like, do I need to turn it off to put it in there? I don't want it to overheat because again, the version 1 gets pretty warm. But anyway. Funny you mentioned that story. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else physical. Again, it's just slightly different. Your accessories probably won't work. Some will. The people asked about the Satisfy
things
grip.
Like cases. I think things like cases. I don't think there's going to be an issue with that. Like the Tom Talk Slim case, stuff like that. Things that I use like that. No grips. No, 90% of the grips are not going to work. They're not. I think honestly the only one that actually might work is going to be the crystal case.
I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about physical form.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that was the physical form. The internals. We were talking about the internals. That's what we were doing. And the only other thing, he didn't go and tear up the whole thing. He didn't take it. It was not a full tear down. It was just take the back case off.
Just took the back off and looked. Yeah, I haven't watched that video yet either.
The battery appears to be, in my surprise, exactly the same battery as the other Switch. So that is a little worrying because I thought Nintendo claimed the same battery life.
They did. It's on the website. Same exact thing.
I don't see how that's
the current
possible
Switch.
Because it's
with
bigger
an OLED screen,
a brighter, bigger screen.
Okay,
now it is
it
is OLED, and that means black is not turned on. The pixels. It's also a more efficient technology. Maybe it's all a game of balancing, and it balances out to be exactly the same.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yes, I would imagine. I would imagine that the size of the screen versus the screen to screen, the performance, I guess, of that screen is that's probably going to balance out and keep the same battery life. I don't think that Nintendo's not, they never come out here claiming like we got this much battery life and then they don't. Yeah, it varies from thing to thing, but look at the Pro Controller. I don't know what they say it has, but damn it, it's got it. That thing lasts forever. It's some stupid amount of hours. It's like 40 hours or something like that. And it does last forever. I never charge my Pro Controllers. I've never had a Pro Controller die, to tell you the truth. Sometimes I'm just like, this might die if I'm streaming later. I'm just going to plug it in just in case. Like, I've never seen one die.
Pro Controller is way better battery life than anything else I have. Maybe the 8-bit Do rivals it, maybe. But like the Power A's, the internal battery Power A's, they do not last very long. Comparatively, it's not bad.
Either way, though, in my experience with the stuff, if Nintendo says that's the battery life, I'm gonna go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt. That's the battery life.
Yeah,
we'll be able to test it, and that's the thing. I think it's gonna vary, just like the one we have now, game to game. It's gonna change depending on what you have on the screen. Obviously,
exactly.
If you're playing a dark, kind of moody game, and you are, not using a lot of those pixels, Who knows? Maybe it would actually last a little bit longer. It might. I don't know. Or maybe that's where you're actually maybe that's what they're banking on. Like, hey, that's where we're going to get those hours to keep it up to what we're saying. No.
You're right, because even on LCD and especially on OLED, a darker image uses less battery. They say to use the dark background because even on the Switch, it will save battery compared to the
Well,
light
you know
background.
what? I said that in a video, and I got absolutely decimated in the comments.
They're wrong.
And everyone told me I was wrong.
No, they're wrong.
About using the dark mode on the Switch. They're like, no, it doesn't matter. It's an LCD screen. It still uses all the battery. And I was like,
I'm not going to sit here and say 100% sure that's correct with LCD. For LED technology, OLED, yes, that is 100% correct, because just think about it.
I know that's correct for that. Yeah. I got absolutely blasted in the comments of a video. Yeah, it's
yeah.
I don't remember exactly what video it is, but it's an old one, and I can tell you this: I still get comments to this day like, "You're wrong, you're wrong. It won't save battery. It's not going to save battery, you idiot." I still get them. So
yeah, that I think it's a game of balancing. I think that the OLED technology versus the LCD, even though it's a bigger screen, more efficient, and those things, they'll add all those things up. The screen is going to use about the same battery as the old screen, and who knows? Maybe they made the chip more efficient again for a second time. Who knows? Mm-hmm. That is 100% possible.
They didn't.
I'm saying it's possible. I mean,
it's possible, but I can tell you right now, it's unlikely because they've said it's the same thing.
Well, they certainly made the heating stuff smaller, so it doesn't need as much heating or cooling as before. So that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see it. I can't wait to get it in my hands. I mean, just looking at the videos, like I said, the biggest thing that stood out to me is just you look at the light hit that glass, and you can instantly tell. Like,
yep.
Like, I'm not even talking about when it's on. When it's off, you can look at it and you're like, that is a nicer screen.
Yep.
Clearly. Like, very easy to see.
Yep.
I'm very excited about it. I mean, my biggest thing, though, man, and I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's opening up this dock. Somebody needs to open up this dock. I don't know why it hasn't been done yet. Why does this dock need updates? I want to know. Somebody open this thing up. Let's see what this looks like in there. I'm telling you, and you told me earlier today that I'm crazy, and you're like, no one else is talking about this except you, about something inside the dock. I don't care. I don't care.
RGT might
Something is going on. The fact that they have this dock, there's updates that are going to be going to this dock. Why? What needs updated? Clearly there's something there because the old ones don't need updated. Clearly there's something different in there. Somebody needs to open this thing up and see what is inside. I want to know. Kevin Kenson, I'm calling you out. Open up that dock. Let's see what's inside this thing. I don't care, man. You sing the X-Files theme song. I don't give a shit. I want to know what's in there. So, I'm telling you, something is different in there. I mean, 4K or not, there's something in there. I want to know what it is.
My theory and opinion is exactly the same. I want it to be different, and the reason my opinion is based off some sort of fact, because when I look at this dock from the outside, the casing, the plastic, it's exactly the same as the other dock.
Well, you're saying what I'm saying is not based off facts?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Because it's a fact that there's a new option in the menu system of the Switch to update the dock, and it specifically says it is not for the dock you have right now. It's for the new dock, not for your old peasant dock. This is for the bougie dock. Something's up, man.
Have you thought about these two things that are not that exciting? Number one, an updated HDMI port and not an old HDMI port. And the second thing, there's a LAN port on it now. So maybe the LAN port needs updates via the internet in some way for some reason.
A port. You're telling me a port needs an update? No. There's something in there. Something's going on in there. I want to see all I really want, I just want to, and I know it's going to be a little bit different, obviously, because there's a LAN port there. I understand that. It's going to look a little bit different. But I want somebody who knows what you know who I want to do? Somebody needs to give SpawnWave a damn dock, okay? Somebody needs to do that shit, like, today. That man needs one. He'll open it up. That's who I want to see have a dock. I want to know, because, you know, he's the type of person that opens this stuff up and knows what he's looking at. Like, I can get the dock, open it up, and be like, yep, that looks cool. Don't know what any of that is, but looks cool.
Drip Media Gaming 2021. Let me see your dock. Open up your dock.
Pull out your dock, okay? Pull out your dock. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Pull out your dock. Open it up.
I'm just having so much fun at your expense, and I love it. Just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, you can kiss my ass.
Listen,
you can kiss my ass.
It wasn't too long ago that I was on your team with that. Like I did kind of remember. I think it was one of the podcasts. We ended off the podcast like I was in total agreement.
It was 2 weeks ago.
And then like I thought more about it, and I didn't just react. I had thought about it, and then I saw the dock itself, and I was like, "That's the same dock as the one we have now, just with a new shell." And it
also needs updates.
Dude, the Joy-Cons need updates, man. What does that mean?
Okay, there's a ton of technology inside the Joy-Cons. A ton. And things to update.
What needs updating in a Joy-Con?
I don't know. I mean, something with the sticks, something the way the buttons, whatever. I mean, things could need updated. They could change the way things work, and they have to work together. That's something that needs updated. Right now, the dock, as we know it, doesn't need that because you put the Switch on it, and it knows, okay, I do one thing. I don't need anything. I just do this one thing.
Let's backtrack here for a second. So the Joy-Cons, I think we have something here. The Joy-Cons, they have Bluetooth connectivity. They have wireless connection, and did I say Bluetooth already?
They have Bluetooth. That's all. There's no other wireless connection.
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah. So maybe the dock is Bluetooth because with the updated Bluetooth, maybe it's much easier to pair when it's in dock mode. Maybe there's a better connection, and they could fit more Bluetooth technology into the dock rather than the Switch. Rather than redesign it a bunch. Maybe that was necessary. Maybe they couldn't fit the Bluetooth technology in the Switch itself. They put it in the dock. Needs updates. Because I know motion control gyro controls, I know for a fact that needs updates. That's a big reason why the Joy-Cons need to be updated is for stabilization of the gyro. Now, obviously, the dock's not going to have that, but maybe there's some sort of wireless connection with Bluetooth going on there. I don't know. If there's any reason why it means updating, which it does, it's not a big reason. It's a very simple, normal reason. Not, it's got 4K DLSS support. Like, it's not, there's going to be no upscaling of any kind with this dock, period. End of story. It's
maybe
an upgraded product.
Maybe not. Listen, that's a small, theory of mine. I think it's possible. I don't know if it's likely or not, but I'm saying there's something in there. I just want to know what it is. Like maybe it's not any type of upscaling at all. That's fine. I just want to know why it needs updated.
Bluetooth.
Curious. Possible. You're right. It would make it better when it's docked to use Bluetooth things with it. Yeah.
More controllers.
If you could have a better signal from the dock. But then again, it's like, why not just put that because where you've already put it?
They didn't want to redesign too much. They want to be able to fit, because some games have 8-player controller support. Now, who's going to be playing 8 players and using Bluetooth? That's a crazy person, but maybe they exist. But they want to be able to make sure they cover their bases of if there's 8 controllers connected, there still could be at least a Bluetooth device, at least an audio Bluetooth device connected. That's my theory.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it's for. A small part of me thinks that I don't know if you noticed this, but in the Nintendo Life video, he says a few times that he wasn't able to do literally anything with it. They were only allowed to film it from that one angle. They weren't allowed to put the other Switch beside it. They weren't allowed to do anything. So that makes me think that Nintendo is going to tell us something else we don't know about it, possibly, and that they didn't want that discovered. Like, you can only do this, you can only do that. I'm not talking about big, crazy things, but I'm just talking about little things. One thing is nobody seems to know about this enhanced audio. It doesn't seem like anybody's like, oh, yeah, it's way better. Nobody's saying that. Everyone's like, I mean, it's fine. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is all Bluetooth. Maybe it's just all weird Bluetooth updates. It's like random, stupid stuff they did for no reason. It's all Bluetooth. That's the updates that the dock needs. I don't know, man. We're going to find out next week, so it doesn't matter. I can't wait to get my hands on mine. I am going to go to Best Buy. I'm going to get it. I'm going to come straight back here, unbox it, edit it, and put it up. Then I'm going to do another video right after that.
I'm not doing any of those things. I have
my whole Friday will be videos.
I have a Switch Lite for sale and some custom Joy-Cons, so I can afford such things.
Welcome to the Antique Roadshow.
No, man, I love my Switch Lite. I really do. But I'm actually kind of sad I want to sell it. But if I can't get the right price, I'm not selling it. That's just me. Anyway, well, guys, that's a wrap for today's podcast. For those of you listening, we're going to go and wrap it up. Don't forget to follow Drip and Geeb Podcast on YouTube for the video format of this podcast, youtube.com/DripGeeb. You can also catch the stream of this podcast every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check out me, Uncle Geeb, on twitch.tv/Uncle Geeb. You can check out this man, Drip Media, on twitch.tv/Drip Media. You can also check him out on his YouTube, which you're doing right now, watching the stream. Appreciate you guys. Patrons, thank you guys so much for Geeb's and Drip's patrons. You guys make the world go round. Appreciate you guys. You help Geeb and Drip afford a Switch. I almost said Switch Pro. A Switch OLED. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys. Seriously, we couldn't do this without you. And all you listeners couldn't do any of this without you. Listeners and viewers, you guys all make the world go round. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you guys next week, assuming that my PC doesn't explode.
It will.